with y'all little podcast.
Now, this is from Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. That's my guy, like his content. I'm going to not play his part talking, though.
My mom told me my dad wasn't to keep me away from my dad. I'm 26, bro. I'm 26. My mom kept me away from my dad for 26 years. You know what kept me away from him? My mom told me that my dad said I was a mistake and kept me away from my father. Every time, this been looking for me since I was a kid.
Yeah.
He's been looking for me. Can you imagine all the kids out there who got a fucking ass mom telling them their daddy ain't but the daddy looking for them? I finally talked to my dad. He's a good dude.
Damn.
My mom told me my dad has not paid child support since I was a kid. I finally meet this. He has envelopes full of fucking shit proof showing he been paying child support. He told me, he said, your mom is a lying, manipulative. What? I have not talked to my mom in months. You know why? My mom called me. My mom's in California. My dad's in North Carolina. I moved out of LA. I can't live in North Carolina or LA because I hate those places because of the trauma I went through on both of those places. My mom calls me. What you doing, baby? What's going on? I'm at my dad's house. What the you doing at the house? Didn't I say don't discuss family business? Like, my dad comes and he busts through the door. My dad is happy and married. He's a street. Can't talk about what he do, but he is street. He's happy and married. My mom has been bitter and having sex with so many goddamn dudes of different races, and she just got married recently to a that she met on Tinder for 1 month. My mom didn't get married because she was in love. She got married because she didn't want to be lonely.
Yeah.
My dad bust through the door and snatched the phone. I was trying to no. He's like, hello? Put my son back on the phone. No, it's my son too. What do you want? Put my son back on the phone. And my dad loses it. Going in on my mom. And I'm listening to my mom. All that slapping, abuse, and beating me up, choking me when I'm on the floor, beating me with belts, wrapping hangers around other hangers, beating me till I pass out and wake back up, whelps on my back, scars. My mom turned into a 2-year-old little girl when my dad started talking to her. Mm-hmm. She talked to me like my entire life. He's yelling on the phone, you mad because I left you. And I didn't want to be with you no more. And you kept my son away from me as a weapon. My mom used her kids as a weapon. She used me and my little sister as a weapon. Whenever my mom would get pissed off by my dad or my sister's dad,
this clip goes on for a little bit. I'm gonna cut it a little short.
Your son again if you disrespect him.
So, yeah. Oh, Willie said the next one. I was like, you sure, bro? I heard the clip. I already knew what it was. This is heavy.
That's intense.
Yes. Because it's a lot to unpack from there.
That's very intense. And he sounds very hurt. He sounds very angry. And honestly, hearing his story, rightfully so. You know what I mean? Especially to kind of be told something like that. Yeah. But I will say my opinion about mothers keeping, their children in general away from a father, I think it has to be subjective. Mm-hmm. I'll be transparent with my situation. My son's father, unfortunately, doesn't pour positivity into my son when he speaks to him. I've never let him not have access to him until just recently because he's, tells my son that he's terrible things, enough to degrade a child's spirit. So when a woman, I think, and a mother witnesses a parent doing that to their child, then you have to make that decision to protect their mental health because he's still growing up. He's not blocked. His dad can always call my phone, but doesn't want to. But that's his fault, not mine. The door's never closed, but I'm protecting my son by not letting his dad call him on his phone to have that type of access. So it's tough though, because my son knows his dad and he still wants that attention, but as a parent, this is also not good for your well-being and your development right now until your dad knows how to come correct and actually be a father and pour into you like how he should. So my situation's a little opposite, but
yeah, and I don't want to make it specific to Lena's situation.
It still makes sense.
It's subjective.
I do want to add, I always say this, and I've said it to my son's father, even though I'm not getting specific. I'm not talking about my life, but I'm saying the relationship you have with your child has nothing to do with the relationship you had with their other parent. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter if we hate each other. As long as we both have the best interest of the child in mind, that should be the only thing we need to relate on. And we should be able to continue. I will cuss you out, you can cuss me out, that's fine. But if you say, oh, you gonna be here to pick him up? Yes, I am. Smiley face, thank you.
And see, I think when parents have an issue with the not getting along, it's because one person or the other, there's still emotions involved in regards to that relationship.
Yeah.
So I agree with what you're saying on that. If you're two parents are whole and they're healed and they're okay, we're not together, but we're here for our kids, it's a beautiful thing. It can flourish. But when someone still has animosity or whatever, I mean,
but he said that his father is still in the streets. He's a street dude.
Yeah.
So how long has he been a street dude? Has his mom been protecting him from that, regardless of him saying that he was a mistake? It's like you have to choose between no father or a crappy father when it comes to your child after they were already conceived, of course.
Can I ask a question on that? So do we, again, not understanding the depth of what he's a street dude, do we think that a guy's profession should be used on if we're going to allow him to have a relationship with his son or not?
I was literally about to say the same thing.
I don't think that's a profession.
No,
Right.
but it's how he decides. No. It is. It's how this guy makes money. So I'm saying is that whatever. We're not here to judge how somebody, what value they think they're creating in the space. We can disagree with it. We can call it what we want. That's what he chooses to do to make money for himself and for whoever. So do we think, however somebody decides to get money out here, is that something we're going to use to determine if you're going to have a relationship with your son? Yes or no?
As a mother, I think she can choose that.
As long
I
as it doesn't
don't
come
think
back
so.
negatively on her.
I don't think
I
that
don't
was
think
the
that
issue.
matters. If whatever job a parent has, as long as you can be a parent to a child, that should be what's important.
Ain't,
I don't
ain't
care
that good
about
to street
any-
dudes though? Ain't good street dudes?
Actually, that's what I was. That's what I was getting at.
I mean, that was my initial when she
yeah.
was
by a street dude.
Yeah.
talking to the mic, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was raised by a street dude. I was exposed to some things that I probably should not have been exposed to. It was my stepfather, but he was a good dad, right? He was a crappy husband. He was in the streets, but he was a good dad. So
what Bricks is saying is actually what I would like. What I'm saying, like both can be true
For sure.
And I think that when you decide to pull the trigger to actually remove somebody out of someone's life like that, it needs to be something overwhelming. And even in Lena's situation, it still feels like a season, right? She's saying, "Hey, this is how I feel until something changes." What he's saying in the clip is like forever. Like he's never even known him. So when you make a decision like that, it needs to be something like so ridiculous that you feel like, "Hey, this has to happen."
And it doesn't sound like it was his profession because that money still came through for child support. It sounded like
But-
I don't want to be with you, and I'm going to use the child as a weapon.
He has legal options as well.
And
You
that's
can't
what I
just
was getting ready
keep
to
a kid
say.
from someone. He has
Exactly.
rights.
I was thinking the
Yes.
same thing. Dad could have
All
found
he
him.
can pursue all avenues legally.
I'll roll with
to
that.
see
I
his
agree with
son.
that.
If
Breast,
he's
come
paying
on.
child support, he knows where mom is, so therefore
sure.
he knows how to
No,
access
I agree
mom to
with
get
that.
access to his child.
No,
I agree with
that is a good point. So
No, we'll roll with that.
So you're saying that his energy to fight the mom probably wasn't as high enough to go see the kid.
Yeah.
Probably because he was probably in that profession. Those two can
Which
happen.
plays a role.
Yes.
I think that has to do with the information gaps that you were talking about too, because a lot of black men don't know those things. They feel like it's hopeless. Once the mom is on that tip, it's like, oh, I can't
Also
do
roll with
nothing.
Chris on that.
But I'm more devil's advocate though. We don't know this guy. We only know we're saying he's in the streets. Guys in the streets are less likely to go lawyer up and go through the courses.
For sure.
right.
Yeah.
And one thing to that occupational point y'all was talking about, it's crazy because if you can use the occupation to keep the child away, then you should have used the occupation to not lay down with him too.
Facts.
That's why I said after the child was already conceived.
Wait, I got you.
obviously.
Like, cause that street dude has we know street dudes.
She was
they
in
got
love
a lot
with the
of
street
chicks
dude.
running behind them.
Facts.
So we got to think about that.
The son said he was a good dude. He's a street nigga. I can't talk about my fault. I can't talk about what he's talking about, but
So I do want to ask the men though. When do we think it is a time for a mom to like pull the kid away from a father?
when do we think it?
When is that appropriate?
Like with Lena, when you have to protect their mentality, their spirit, their physical body.
Yeah.
I think that's when a mom should step in and protect their child. Like I'm like what Lena said is spot on because it is subjective. Like it depends on the father. If the father's actively trying and y'all just don't see eye to eye, then you gotta compartmentalize those feelings for that man
Agreed.
and think about that child. The child should not be paying for your ill decisions. Period. If you decided to lay with this man, that is an 18-year at the very least commitment to that whole unit. That you guys are still are a unit at that point, and regardless of where y'all live. So yeah.
Bricks.
what was the question?
When do you think it's okay to pull a kid away
If
from
there's
a
any
kid?
if there's any abuse, whether it's mental abuse, physical abuse, that's a hard boundary right there. That's
because even
that's
if
the
they was
short answer.
together, you should pull them away. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
We all got to get out of this
Yeah,
situation.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, y'all unpack that. Are y'all done? That was heavy, so everybody's like, I don't know.
I think the video kind of speaks for itself. I don't think it's very nuanced.
The
Like,
other
you should-
the other piece I wanted to talk about in that video is when he was saying when the father got on the phone, how she acted, how she reacted to him, his energy, and then how she was talking to him as he was growing up. She was emasculating him. He was like, she talked to me like a, you know what I'm saying, my whole life. And when he get on the phone, she got quiet. She was a schoolgirl.
And she still has feelings for him.
Exactly.
Of course.
She hasn't healed yet.
So to
And
me,
she knows she was wrong.
it's exactly, it skews more towards, it won't about his profession. It's like, I got hurt feelings.
She had
And Dean, you know, I'm sorry, Lena. You know what's crazy though? When I say feelings, it doesn't always mean romantically. Like
Of
you
course.
still have feelings, period. You
Yeah.
still harbor anger. You still harbor resentment. Let it go. This man is 26 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to get on the phone with this man and talk amicably. You should be able to be fine with whatever y'all talking about, and if it's him, you shouldn't be reverting to who you were in 1980, whatever, or 1990. Like that just shows you haven't dealt with that time period, because that's what you foundationally went back to when he got on the phone with you. That shows you're still there. So yeah, you still got feelings for him.
I just think about the son, the damage. He was damaged. He was
What he missed
was
out on.
Yeah, he was
Sounded
hurt.
bad. He sounded really.
He was hurt on so many different levels. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, he talked about his mom's dating habits too. So he's seen a lot in that short time period. 26 years is not that long.
You know what's crazy, Dean? When we reach 25, 26, that's when we start reflecting on our own red flags and how we handle certain situations. And he probably could have been like, man, my dad wasn't there, so that's why I react like this, or that's why I do this. And he probably messed up a few relationships, a few opportunities because of the absence of his father. So when he sees that the absence of his father was manufactured by somebody that close to him, then it hits double hard, because it's like, dang, I'm here in this state maybe because of what you did, as far as what you took away, or the lack of effort that the father made because of what the mom did.
Facts.
So,
That's tough. Willie picked that one, so
that was a tough clip, man. There ain't really much to say, man. Don't weaponize your children, man.
And get therapy.
Your children deserve both parents. If both parents are making that effort, regardless of what their lives look like, as long as they're not proactively setting out to set harm to your child, y'all got to work it out. Period. And that has to be thought about while y'all doing what y'all do.
yeah, it's got to be amicable.
Like, subscribe, hit the bell. Hit the bell.